Hey everyone, welcome back to the workbench. We have a Pac-Man board here. Someone reached out to me, kind of a neighboring town. He reached out to me a little bit ago, asked me if I'd work on a board for him. He picked up a Pac-Man game from Baltimore area, drove a few hours to get it. When he got there, he was telling me the gentleman he bought it from had no power in the garage it was stored in, but it worked. So I guess they brought it home. He said it did work. They ran it about a week. Then it quit. He said when it did work, though, his words, Pac-Man looked like he was on crack. Okay. So I've never worked on a Crackman board, so I had to say yes. So he yanked the board, brought it to me. Overall, doesn't look hideous. It's relatively clean. We got a capacitor here. It's about ready to puke its guts out. Edge connector looks like crap. Someone repaired it. Attempted a repair. I don't like the look of that at all. We're going to redo that. That is our 36 volt AC coming in. I just, don't like it. We got some anemic solder connections here. We'll go over those for the diode. Give it a test. I'm not going to plug my harness into that yet before I fix that up. And we'll put the harness on it, and we're going to see what a Crackman game looks like. So let's get started with the edge connector first. Yeah, I got the soldering iron all heated up here. They wrapped these fingers, which doesn't look hideous, but I know the connector does not go up this far, but I just don't like this. I'm going to clean this up, try to re-tin this. I don't like having any kind of exposed copper on these boards. It will oxidize. You're going to just run into problems. Cleans up all right. We might be able to salvage this. We'll see if they... I'm going to try to tin them here. We'll see if they are actually stuck on pretty good. If not, if they lift off, when I try to tin these, we're going to just redo them. I don't like globs of solder. The back isn't as bad. Ground looks good. We're not burned off anywhere else. So, let me see if I can re-tin these here, make these look a little better, smooth that out. Like I said, I don't want to put my harness on there and get it destroyed. I'll put a little flux on it. Flux makes it flow better. All right, let's see what we can do here. Yeah, that looks decent. It did tin up pretty good. Get the braid out here, pull the excess off now. This will tell us what it's going to look like when we're done here, if it's worth salvaging or just strip it and redo it. Did feel sorry for the guy a little bit. I mean, I made the road trips before to go get games that were advertised in one condition. You get there and they're completely different. But I mean, he did tell me what he paid for it. He did get a good deal for it. So I mean, even in non-working condition, he got a good deal on it. So let's see if we can get it fixed for him, though. I am curious to see what a Pac-Man on crack looks like. So can't wait for that. And these pads are actually stuck pretty good. I don't know if they glued them down. Hopefully they did, but they are sticking pretty well. Get all this extra solder pulled off, though. Oh, nope. I spoke too soon. We just lifted that pad off. So my guess is they were not glued down. So we'll repair that one. Okay, let me fix up these edge terminals here, and we'll be back in a moment. All right, got everything hooked up. Should be able to see the display there. Let's get some power to it and see what we have. No signal, so we have no sync. One thing I do not like about the Pac-Man boards, especially if you don't have the original 285 chip that was here, these boards cover the processor. Yep, the Z80 is in there. It covers it, so getting to these pins is a pain in the ass. So we're going to trace the schematic back, see where our crystal goes to, and we'll check frequencies here first in the generator. Then try, if we have to, I'll throw a Miss Pac-Man daughter board on it to free up the processor so we can check pins. I hate to do that just to check the clock, but let's try it this way first. All right, so I got the scope hooked up to it here. I said it's hard to see and get to the pins on the Z80 because it's underneath the sync bus controller here. But if we follow it back on the schematics, pin 6, which is our clock for the CPU, comes from pin 5 of 8B. So there's 8B. So if we check pin 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we should have a clock. We do not. We're just kind of high here. It is stuck high. All right, the input to that is pin 4. Let's just check him, make sure. These inverters do die quite a bit. Nope, it is low, which would make sense. So that is, yeah, it's doing its job. We're getting a low in and a high out. All right, let's see where that comes from. So if we follow back, actually, if we actually, let's see, on that same chip here, pin 7 is our output from the oscillator up here where the crystal and everything is. So let's just check pin 7 on this IC just to see if we're getting anything out. It may just be a bad chip. So pin 7, and we do 18.4 megahertz. Not sure why channel 2's flickering like that. That's not even hooked in right now, but that looks good. That is a good clock frequency. So we have it out of the oscillator, but we don't have it on pin 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, we are high on that. So his input is 4. That is low. So why are we low there? So it's got to be something in between pin 7 of this chip and pin 4. So back to the schematics on that. If we follow that out of pin 7, that comes down, it's our clock that goes to 8A, pin 12. So 8A, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we have it there. Okay, 18.4. Pin 3 of that chip is our output. So pin 1, 2, 3. Output is low. All right, let's check the clear on that. Pin 13. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is high. So that's doing its job. All right. Let's check pin 1. That's an input to that. 8A. Wrong chip. There we go. 8A. That is low. Pin 3. And pin 4 is our K. Pin 4, high. And we do have a clear, correct? Yep, we are high on that. And we do have a clock. I'm thinking we got a bad 74, what is it, LS107. I think we have a bad flip-flop. Let's power down, change that, and see if we get anything different. I do have 107s. Pretty sure I do. If not, we have a board we can rob one from. All right. I'm not a fan of those sockets. Can't see what the pins look like on them. We do have 107, so I'm going to throw one down here. Oh, nope, that's an 07, wrong one. Don't want to use that. That's a 107 we need. There we go. 107, we're set. We have those as well. Yep. All right, squish your legs over a little bit, get them in. Pin 1. There we go. All right, now let's plug back in here and check our outputs. So we need pin 3 to have a signal on. 1, 2, 3. And we do. And we have a game. Sort of. Yeah, pin 3. And what do we got? We do have a signal. Let's see. So now let's check our clock signal for the processor here. So we want pin 5 of B, 8B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do have 3 megahertz. And let me bring this around so you can see we have a game. I see what he's talking about Pac-Man on crack. I'll wait for it to pop back around. So we have Clyde. We do not have... If you watch Pac-Man here, he looks like Pac-Man, but wait till the game starts, then watch him. You can see the red bow appearing. That is a Miss Pac-Man. If you look on the chips down here, we have Miss Pac-Man character ROMs in these two spots, which is really strange. Because this board, let me get the scope out of the way here once. This board did not have the daughter card on it for the Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man could be done two ways. There is a 40-pin ribbon cable that connects to where the Z80 is. It goes to a daughter board. There's more character ROMs on that board with the Z80. That is the, I guess, official way of making a Miss Pac-Man, because a Pac-Man board and a Miss Pac-Man board are identical. Now, there is a hack that people are doing where you can add more EPROMs here, change some traces around, and put the memory on this board and not have the daughter board. Not a big fan of doing that. I don't like cutting traces or anything, but this one has the Z80 in here, so it did not have the ribbon cable for the daughter board. Not sure, but that would explain, if you look at the screen here, why the characters are messed up. Clyde looks like crap. They all do. And that's why Pac-Man looks like he's on crack. So, I have a spare set of test ROMs. Let's power down here. Let me get my test ROMs out. Oh, let's see, Pac-Man. There we go. All right, Pac-Man, we need 5 E and F. Of course, they're going to be the last two in the sleeve. All right. 5 E and F. Powered off. Yep. Let's pop these out. Get these in. And we'll see if that makes any difference with the game. It should. Because the rest of the EPROMs here are your game. That's the game memory. So that is the same. It's just these character ROMs that are different. All right. 5 E. Let's get them in the right direction. And 5F. All right. Let's power back up. Where'd my power cord go? Oh, there it is. All right. Now let's try it with the correct EPROMs. Let's see if we get anything different. There we go. The ghosts look much better. Blinky looks red. They all got blue eyes. Ah, Clyde's back. And Pac-Man is no longer on crack. No longer has a bow in his hair. That looks much better. Now, while we have it set up here, let me grab the joystick. We'll coin up and then we'll see if we can play a game. There's some sound. Text looks good. Let's turn that volume down a little bit. And the volume's not changing. That could be a bad up. controls are working. Hard to play this upside down. That could possibly be the lowest score in Pac-Man history. But it's hard to play with the monitor turned like that. But it does appear to be working. I do not have a Pac-Man cabinet to test this in. I think what I'm going to do here is I'll burn a set of ROMs here for Pac-Man. And I'm going to let it run for a while. Give it a few hour burn in. Everything looks decent. We're not getting warm on anything. Memory's a little warm, but that's expected. Everything else looks decent. So what we'll do is we'll let this run. I'll burn a new set of ROMs for him. Then he should have a non-cracked Pac-Man. Thanks for watching.